Good morning, friends. I want to share a thought with you today that the Lord just really encouraged me with. I was trying to watch how-to YouTube videos on how to clean the carburetor on the mower and weed eater. So I have an old mower and an old weed eater that we used last year on the yard, and they kind of puttered along, and I'm really trying not to have to buy another one. And so the kids and my yard is just, all this rain is just shot up and looks awful. And so the kids and I took one day last week, and I was back and forth to Ace Hardware. I bought new filters, we bought new spark plugs. The pull cord on the weed eater was hanging out, the spring had been broken, and so I took off that whole little assembly on the end, and I took that to Ace, and they changed that hardware for me, and so it was like $20 or something. And so we got all fresh gas and all new mixtures, and we still could not get them started. So I asked my son Isaiah, who's good at that kind of stuff, to while we were gone at Grandma's this weekend, to come over and look at it. And he said he did, but he couldn't get them started either, and he didn't know what was going on. So I've been watching these videos, and I'm trying to like be frugal and save money and not have to go buy a new weed eater or mower. And so I'm like, it's the carburetor. There was old gas, and it's got it all gunked up. So I need to learn how to take his carburetor off. And I probably am still going to try to tackle this, because if I got to buy new ones anyway, I can't hurt it, right? And if these hands will do it, and I got kids, if they won't, they can help me. But we're going to tackle it. But anyway, the yard was overgrown, and I was just kind of feeling a little like, it'd be nice to have somebody know what they're talking about, come in and just fix this and save me money. And the thought went through my mind, I don't have anybody that can help me on this. I just don't have anybody that can help me. Now let me say this, part of that's pride, because I'm sure there are people that have said a million times, you need anything, Lisha, you just need to holler. But I don't want to bother people, and I'm horrible at that. And I'm stubborn enough, I love to try to see what I can figure out on my own. So please don't think that this is any kind of pity thing, like somebody come help me with my art. We're not there. If I need it, I will ask. But I was reading my Bible, and I was in John chapter 5, and it's the story of the man at the pool of Bethesda. And these people, the history on the pool of Bethesda is that they would set up these spring waters and different things. Scripture says an angel would come down and touch the waters. Other people, there are a lot of different thoughts about this when you study it. Some people feel like John is just stating what the culture of the people was, which was very Roman and pagan, and they set up a lot of temples throughout that some spirit or even a serpent spirit would come and touch the waters, and people would sit in these healings and sleep in the temple overnight. There's one school of thought on that John is just saying so the angel would come, and that's why people are there. But I don't know, Scripture's not real clear about that. It says that at certain seasons an angel will come down and touch the water, and the first people in the water got healed. And so I'm going to go with that. And I don't understand it all, but let's just take it what Scripture says, right? And so the angel of the Lord would come down and touch the waters, and there was people laying all around trying to be the first one to get. And there was a man that had been laying there, and he had been disabled for 38 years. And Jesus came to him, and Jesus walked right in the middle of all of that, and he looked at him and he said, do you want to be well? And the man said, of course he did, but that in all these years he keeps laying there, and when the waters are troubled, somebody always goes before him. And he said, I don't have anybody that can help me. He said, there's no one to put me in the water and help me. And being paralyzed like I am, and putting myself in these Bible stories, and knowing my functions and my abilities, you could put me on the ground, and there could be a little arm crawling, maybe army crawling you could do and drag yourself across the floor. But the weaker I've gotten, even that will be very difficult, because your arm strength is weak. And so when you think about that desperate situation of laying there, waiting for the troubled waters, having so much hope that you might get there this time and be healed, and knowing somebody, you're too slow, you're too weak, you're not able to get there, and somebody always gets there. And for year after year, time after time, this happened to him. the level of desperation this man must have felt. And then Jesus has the nerve to walk up and say, do you want to be well? And the man thinking, of course I do, but I don't have anybody to help me. And how often people that are hurting and in pain, it's so often to look at them and think, you're just not trying hard enough, apparently, to get better, right? Because if you really wanted to get better, you would, maybe you could try harder, or you might want to try some arm exercises. I mean, Jesus didn't do anything. He did not carry the man into the waters. He did not say, I will sit with you until the waters get troubled again, and I'll make sure that I help you. It reminds me of the same story where Peter and John told the lame man, silver and gold, we don't have that, but something we can give you is far better. And that's what Jesus is saying to this man. That man's cry, and when I feel sorry for myself, that's my cry. I just wish I had somebody that could help me. And sometimes the help you're craving is so soul deep, it's not anything you can ask somebody physically to do for you. That's not the cry. You want healing. And I am so encouraged. I'm going to get emotional thinking about it. But the love of Jesus, again, that steps inside. And he says, take up your bed and walk. Is a healing that no one else can do for you. And this morning, Jesus says that again and again. Lesha, take up your bed and walk, right? Like, that's the healing. I gotta get hold of myself, don't I? That's the beautiful gift of Jesus that happens over and over. And my heart to help other people is not to give them a step-by-step program on how to get stronger so they can get in a pool. Y'all, Jesus is all sufficient, and it's so very personal. And I'm not saying those other things aren't wonderful, but I'm saying at the end of the day, or can't be used, but at the end of the day, it's a tool to help you with your problem. And Jesus is the solution to your healing. So wow, God just spoke to me all again. Friends, turn to Jesus. He will provide healing day by day, moment by moment, discouragement by discouragement, challenge by challenge. He can meet every one. Do you want to be well? I do. Turn to Jesus.